They continue to be under warnings here through 8:30. So that's, another 17 minutes here. And the other thing to just keep in mind is, yeah, that's great to know that we have sort of an end point or an expiration point, but look at what we have off to our west here. So the warnings that are now in Chicago. Okay, we have warnings on the north side of the city and on the west side of the city. The trajectory is pretty much straight east. So these are things that we're going to need to watch for late morning and most importantly during, News Channel 3 live at noon. And that's saying that, the activity is about an hour away. Same kind of story here with the storms. Chicago immediately west and slightly west-southwest. We're worried about wind damage here. Yeah, we've referenced hail, and that's certainly going to be a part of the story as well. But it's really the wind that continues to be a big story. And this is just using our distance tool here. What do you think? An hour and a half until that moves back towards Berrien County. Same time that we still have this really interesting signature here. The other thing I would start to be worried about here is flooding. You keep seeing these terrific rainfall rates over and over and over. And while you've got a brontosaurus of a cell, right on top of you right now, there's more to come. There's more upstream. So that is an additional factor. I would really love to see what, like we said earlier, the bottom of Howard and Crosstown. I wonder what that looks like right now in any of the low-lying areas, the normally flood-prone areas that, if let's say you live near a river, those kinds of places, I'm sure have standing water.
Well, these places haven't been able to catch up and recover. I mean, we had the flooding last week, and then Saturday night, just overnight, those were huge rain totals that came in. So it's really, really added up. I mean, because you've noticed it outside, as hot as it's been, it really hasn't browned up outside because we've had so much rain. Where normally a week like last week with those temperatures, you would have thought a lot of brown.
I think it would have.
Okay, so Howard, that's where cars are passing? Yeah, so we just got a report that's close to ours. Howard and Crosstown was an area that flooded last week, and we do hear cars are passing right now. So that's some good news as we learn right now.
So here it is on our graphic system. The Kalamazoo County severe thunderstorm warning has expired. Calhoun County is also expired. They were supposed to expire at 8:15, and they did. So some good news, at least symbolically there. Still coming down really heavily near and south of I-94. It was good to hear from George, our chief engineer. Go ahead, Kirk.
Well, we just got a report from Katie, who's one of our digital producers, and she says there is some flooding at Howard and Crosstown on the West Nitch Hill area. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's an area where obviously it is very problematic in these kinds of so. You don't want to drive through lots of standing water. So it is best to just kind of stay home if you can right now and let this play out.
And now we have about 14 minutes until our warnings go away in St. Joe County and also Branch County, far eastern corner of Cass County. And look, the ball game really just starting to get going here for these parts of West Michigan that are just starting to see sort of that leading edge. And if we were going to draw our storm track right down M40 here, we'll draw that right down M40. So the Jones area, the Porter area, Montville and York, and eventually, the Michigan-Indiana line. We want you to be on guard here for some 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. The warning's still in effect. I'm going to look and see if I have some new, maybe some damage reports that are coming in here. Nothing new there. Let's look over here for a brief moment. Yeah, much like you guys were showing some of those interesting cloud signatures and some of those wall clouds and shelf clouds. We have a bunch of them here inside our National Weather Service chat. In fact, a very interesting one out of Portage from just before the top of the hour. So
yeah. Well, and the Weather Service came out in the middle of this and said this had weakened some. Obviously, we're still in the middle of it. Be very careful, but it seems pretty clear as we sit here right now that those northwest counties, when we see Muskegon, Ottawa, Kent County, they took the hardest punch, at least so far this morning.
And I think when we were in the middle of our show, we were worried about the 70 and the 80 mile per hour gusts.
Yeah.
Look, there's an exponential effect when you're talking about winds upwards of 80 miles per hour versus something at 40 miles per hour. I mean, that's enough to tear off roofs.
Yeah.
Rip siding right off and gutters and those kinds of things. I just got a couple of reports here out of Lansing, a 37 mile per hour gust. The Clinton County area, the Ingham County area, their warnings, of course, are long gone as well. But the fact that maybe some of these newer gusts that are coming in, they're not as strong. certainly is some good news, but it doesn't mean we're done.
And you brought up a great point about Portage is an area we really think about because we had the May 7th tornado, and then we had more storm damage last week, and we just worry about weakened trees with this storm that came through this morning to see if there was any more trouble. Obviously, then we truly have homeowners who aren't nowhere near to having their lives back to normal, and then we have more severe weather rolling through.
Right. And you wonder, what folks are dealing with already, and then throw this on top of it. So I think that's a good point to bring up, Jeff, because, it might be not as, intense when it comes to the wind gusts, but, those trees are weakened. They've been through a lot, especially within the past several months here.
And if the ground is waterlogged, if the ground is soaked, it makes that root structure a little weaker, right? And maybe even easier to sort of pull that out of the ground. I've got a fresh storm track here for you. Burr Oak and Bethel and Kinderhook and Jamestown. And the language here from the National Weather Service, as far as our Michigan, Indiana line counties go, we're worried about damage to roofs. We're worried about damage to siding. We're worried about damage to trees. And again, the main sort of thread line throughout all of this is still the possibility of 60-mile-per-hour gusts and the possibility of small hail. And look, we heard the hail here, so we know that a part of that front part of the line that you're seeing on your screen right now, entering right where US 12 and I-69 come together. That's a very busy stretch.
Yeah. And we should stress again our digital producer Katie, who just arrived to work, saying there's some flooding at Howard and Crosstown and Kalamazoo. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I can't characterize the severity of it, but that's been a spot we've flooded in the past. So if you're heading out, and we do have some video now, it looks like we're D Avenue and 131. Okay, that's in northern Kalamazoo County. This is some, is this live or is this on tape? This is a live look. Okay, so you see traffic is moving pretty good here right now. It's still cloudy and dark, but this is not nearly as bad as it was a short time ago.
Right. Yeah, I think this is kind of the aftermath, so to speak, of what we're seeing. But you can tell, I mean, just looking at the car's headlights too, just how misty it still is out there, which can sometimes be, kind of a nuisance when you're driving. And it's still something you got to keep in mind for sure.
And I think I might have still seen some lightning there off in the distance. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're looking at some new information now out of the Branch County area. We have our velocity scope dialed up here for you, indicating the possibility of the precipitation moving, the projectiles moving here at about 41 to 50 miles per hour. So that's sort of reflective here of the kind of gusts that are going to continue to be possible here in Branch County. Coldwater and Madison and the Bronson area. Of course, this is US 12 right here. This is M86. And I would suggest the same kind of winds being possible in Colon, Leonidas, and the Nottawa area in northern and northeastern St. Joe County as we look at, M80 and M60. That's actually M60 through the northern part of the county. And you can also see at the bottom of your screen, again, we still have our warnings. That's also Hillsdale County, Branch County, and St. Joe County. Kirk and Julie, I have to add something to our weather bug, so
yes.
I will be back in just a quick second. I just want you to know that.
Take your time, do what you need to do. We'll just update you, Julie. I'm just looking at the Consumers Energy outage map. It's almost 121,000 customers. I will say the pace of increase has slowed, but that's obviously a lot of people without power. It makes some sense to me because now where the storms are hitting some of the more rural areas, we've passed through the largest population centers. But obviously, if you're in these southern counties, and I also just want to point out another photo I've seen that I hope we'll get on the air at some point of a wall cloud. This is from the Gull Lake area. A lot of these photos are coming in from our viewers of just what was coming our way this morning.
Yeah, people pretty much seeing it come through. And, Jeff mentioned the winds in Colon. We did get a message about 15 minutes ago from Debbie Herring saying that there was horrible wind in the Colon area about 8:07 a.m. So again, about 15 minutes ago. But here are some of those pictures that you mentioned, Kirk. We've been getting them to our Facebook page, to our website. And this is what a lot of our viewers saw this morning as those storms were moving through their area. Really that kind of defined line and defined storm there. And like we said, we know here at the station, it got dark like that after our show when these started coming through.
And these kind of similar pictures have been coming in from a variety of towns. I mean, I've seen the Richland, Gull Lake area, but I've seen Homer and Calhoun County. I've seen Coldwater.
In Kalamazoo, Vicksburg area. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's another one right there. Wow, what an amazing picture that is, Jeff.
Amazing is the right word. You just don't see stuff like that every day. So here's the situation right now. Kalamazoo County, Calhoun County, no longer do we have any warnings, right? But it's the far southern parts of these counties where we still sort of need to be on guard here a little bit. Certainly Van Buren County, you were never under a warning, but we're still watching our warnings on the Michigan-Indiana line. I think here's what we're going to do. Why don't we take a minute and a 45-second break? Let's reset. We'll come back at 8:25 with some fresh information. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. We'll be right back.
We want to continue our coverage right now of this morning's severe weather, another round of severe weather that has hit West Michigan pretty hard. We have reports of damage, especially in Kent, Ottawa, Muskegon, and Allegan counties. But the storm, Julie, really just hitting our southern areas. Now we've just kind of passed through the worst of it here in Kalamazoo, but we're starting to see the impact, especially on power outages.
Yeah, we are. We're up to 121,000 customers who don't have power this morning, according to the Consumers Energy Outage Map. And, like you said, we've seen that number go up throughout the morning. It is kind of starting to slow down as far as those outage reports coming in. But 121,000 customers is pretty significant.
And we still have some people that are in the path of strong storms right now. So, Jeff, are you ready here? We're going to hop on over and you can track where things stand right now.
Well, we're looking at our Binder Park camera, our Panda camera at Binder Park Zoo, and still raining here. And we saw one of our red pandas climb up that tree there just moments ago. So again, that was a live look. I've got a few more live looks for you. Kirk and Julie, thank you very much. And right now, again, rain still coming down. It is still raining in Bangor. This, of course, is M43, and right now it's 8:26. We still have our warnings on the Michigan-Indiana line till 8:30. I'm wondering if they're going to be extended for a little bit longer than that, because that certainly seems reasonable. And we also want to show you, of course, those warnings. So here we go. Cass County, St. Joe County, Branch County through 8:30, issued for 60-mile-per-hour gusts. They're still possible. I haven't seen any reports like that in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Doesn't mean it can't happen. But the thrust of this still coming out of, I would say, just south of I-94 in Van Buren County, and now making inroads into Cass County and pushing along the Michigan-Indiana line, St. Joe County, and also Branch County. So I suspect here, I would think it's reasonable that these warnings should probably be extended maybe till 8:45 or so. I'm just going to give you a quick, fresh storm track in and around the Dowagiac area. Again, motion pretty much due south here at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So the Daly area, the Howard area, Edwardsburg, and over to Granger, then eventually South Bend. It'll be really interesting to see what this line does once it hops into northern Indiana, which so far this morning has been relatively quiet. But hour by hour, keeping us stormy here through 9 and 10. But I think by 11 and 12, really most of the action is to our south. So we have a little bit of good news in that capacity. I do want to give you another live look. So let's go ahead and show that live look one more time here, which will be coming up out of the Battle Creek area right now, actually rather downtown Kalamazoo. That's okay. So here it is off the Peregrine Tower. Much, much lighter rain in Kalamazoo right now, and we'll have more coverage during our 8:30 half hour.
Allergies in a more efficient system. Improve your indoor air quality. Schedule a free estimate.
The first wall-side windows customer was an important customer. So was the next, and the next. Since 1944, Wallside has been working to make every single customer feel like their Wallside's only customer. For a limited time, save half off every window, plus take an extra 15% off for cash, or finance interest-free with no down payment. And since 1944, Wallside has made this promise to you.
You'll save money. Let me prove it.
Wallside.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Yeah, by being prepared for anything.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
U.S.-Canada border.